What's up, guys? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you from SRL F1 2020 on the PS4 platform. This is round 18 here at Hanoi, Vietnam, Season 6 of the Sandro Racing League. And while there are many SRL leagues, there's only one Sandro Racing League. Getting ready to kick off a 18-minute short qualifying session and a 50% race here for round 18 as the season winds down. Coming off of a spectacular race at round 17 Canada last week, where Jensen Randall picked up his 10th pole position of the season, followed by his 10th win of the season. Newcomer making his SRL debut, Logan Arrand, making his SRL F1 debut, came home second. Sandro Dulius with his second podium in a row, finishing third. Cameron Wesson-Edwards was fourth. Max Mulder with another great run into fifth. Rennie van der Stapp was sixth. Dion Starr was seventh. Nick Van Gelder eighth. And Colin Higgins was ninth. But 10th through 13th were all DNFs. That was Robin Hertestegen, Jim Sanitas, Jorge Correa, Felipe, and Jan Holm. And for Felipe, that makes a number of DNFs here in a row. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was Felipe. Yep. 1, 2. Go through the notes here. 3, 4. 4 DNFs in a row for Felipe. So if he's racing today, he's definitely going to be one of making up for that. And we will run down the driver lineup here. We've got Sandro. Well, looks like we're going to kick off. So we'll go down the driver lineup here in a second. We'll see Sandro Dulius is in the live chat expressing his disdain for this race. You know, when F1 2020 came out and it was announced that Hanoi would be in the game, some people were excited. Sandro was not really one of them. He didn't have a whole lot of love for the track to begin with, even when F1 had announced it in reality that they would be racing in Vietnam. And he did play the track a couple of times when the game first came out and expressed his disdain, said it was awful, and said he would never race on it again until the race day. And he has kept that vow. He has not practiced at all on this track in months. And I've raced on it. I can attest that, yes, it is awful. It is a really tough layout. Sector 2 is, there's really not a lot of rhythm to this track. It's very chaotic, and the corners are very tough. They're kind of a lot of blind corners because it is a street course, so the walls just kind of mesh together in some parts. So let's see, Max Mulder is on the live chat as well, saying he's on fire. He has been on a little bit of fire. Max Mulder, coming off of a 4th place finish at round 16, backed it up with a 5th place finish last week at Canada. So 15 drivers for today's race. Let's get the track map up. Get some lap data going here. And the Don Farron saying he beat Max on F1 2019. Also stating that Max is a noob. So got a couple of cars heading out onto track. And it looks like the first one out on track was Logan Arrand. He is a former International Racing Series champion. He has participated in the SRL GT3 series, finished second last week, and he's out on the Haas today. Jensen Randall, of course, your championship points leader. NRG Destructor is Jim Sanitas in the factory Renault. Then we've got CPI 0. This is Oleski. He's got a last name too, but I don't know how to pronounce it. He's from Finland. He races in the GT3 series. He'll be making his SRL F1 debut today in the Mercedes Petronas AMG. There you see Rennie van der Stapp and Cameron Wesson-Edwards, Team McLaren, out on track. And we've got Dennis Carenchis in the Racing Point. He's certainly gotten the most out of that car this year. And we've got Chitty 17. That is another newcomer reserve driver. That is Dennis Gutnecht. I believe is how you say his last name. I'm sure it's not. I shouldn't give myself that much credit. Max Mulder will be in the other racing point. And we've already got a yellow flag, Sector 2. But we're going to pick up Logan Arrand. He should be the first driver on a timed lap, and let's get an idea of what it's like to drive through this course. The very weird 1-2 section coming out on pit road. You're going to run this as wide as possible to get the power down, arc it in. You can hear Logan was a little on off the throttle there going through that first sector, or first series of turns. Cuts that corner a bit tight. Down this long back straightaway. It's so long that they only give you DRS for half of the straightaway. Try and look at his trap speed. His trap speed looked like it might have been around 207. 207 miles per hour. I don't know what that is in kph. I could figure it out if I wanted to, but a kilometer is 62 hundredths of a mile, so you do the math. And you get this very weird and tight Sector 3. I mean, Logan's looking pretty good through some of these corners. Through the penultimate corner, now the final corner. Oh, runs it out to the wall. And 133 flat is going to be your first time of the day. And Chitty has retired from the session. So Dennis Gutnick is not going to set a time. And it looks like Jensen Randall has set a time. He's gone 133.197. Cameron Weston Edwards with a 135.2, followed by his teammate 135.298 versus a 261. CPI 0, that is Aleski. He's 135.5. Jim Sanita sets a time 135.327. I'll pick up Dennis Carenchis. Ooh, looks like he might have brushed the wall coming out of there, and he's a 134.0. So he's good enough for third quickest so far. Dion Stahl set a time of 135.6. We'll pick up Sandro Dulia. Sandro, we talked about how much he does not like this track. Coming off of 2 third-place finishes in a row. Whoa. Big movement there. Trying to get that car to turn. He's going to come across the line. 135 flat. That's going to be good enough for fourth. So good effort for him. It looked like he's struggling with some snap oversteer. Like he's got understeer going through the corner, and then by the time it finally bites, it's snap oversteers coming out of that last corner on him. And looks like he's got to maybe adjust the settings on that car a little bit. But 135 flat for Sandro Dulius. Max Mulder came across the line. He sets the time of a 136.5. We'll pick up Nick Van Gelder. This is going to be a tough course for Nick. I can tell you that right now. Nick, who has struggled a lot this year, your season 4 champion, just has not found his championship form. And this I really think is going to track where he struggles because he likes a very loose race car. And I don't think that's going to benefit him a whole lot through some of these really back and forth sweeping corners, a lot of quick change of direction. We see Jim Sanitas is retired from the session as well, so he does set a time of 135.3. Big lockup by Van Gelder, blows the corner. He's going to try and come across the line. Oh, and he runs on wide, hits the wall, and he's 135.6. Good enough for 10th, but you can see Nick there struggling with the brakes, struggling to get the car to corner. So he's got his work cut out for him for sure. We'll pick up his teammate, Jure Marusic. We'll see what kind of time Jure can set. And he is going to dive into pit lane after invalidating his lap time. So we'll pick up Felipe, and Felipe is bended into the wall. That is turn 1-2 section, so he's got to go all the way around the track to get back to pit road. So we'll pick up Max Mulder. Mulder's on an invalidated lap time. We'll pick up 0-0. That's Zaleski. He's going to dive into the pits. Pretty sure Nick's going to dive into the pits. We'll pick up Robin Herterstegen. Haven't seen him today. He's in the Alfa Romeo. He's going to be coming out of the penultimate corner. Now through the final corner. See what kind of time he can set. Oh, runs it into the wall. Breaks the end plate. And he's a 1:38.669. So tough go there. He's going to have to go around. And that final corner is, because the front straightaway it's a nice little straightaway if you can get a good run out of that last corner. Now 90-degree corners are so deceiving because they look like you can take them faster than you can. And there's absolutely no runoff on that final corner, not even a little bit. If you're too wide, you're into the wall, as we saw with Robin Herterstegen and Nick Van Gelder. I think today's going to be a record-breaking day for front wings. Interestingly enough, we've got Logan Arrand, who came out, and right behind him is Jensen Randall, both on their out laps. Now, Jensen ran a near-perfect race last time out, but I do feel like he felt a little bit of the pressure from Logan in the early goings of last week in Canada. Logan, unfortunately, wasn't able to keep up the pace with him, but Logan is a very, very determined driver. He is, as I said, he's got a championship in IRS, the International Racing Series. He's got multiple wins and podiums in the International Racing League. He is contesting in the GT3 Series for SRL. He is going to be trying to drive a 24-hour race with Team SRL in a different league on Gran Turismo Sport. So he's a very determined driver. He's very good at what he does. And it's nice to have an American in there. But determination does not make up speed, and that's going to be the key factor. Jensen Randall has been on an absolute tear, probably the most dominant SRL season I've seen. And it's really a throwback to the years of Killian Brady and Francis McGinn and Vasilios Beliciotis. It's been absolutely dominant. And, he invalidates his lap time hardcore. He cut both of those corners, so he's going to have to come around and try it again. We'll switch over to Jensen Randall, who's on a timed lap. And as we said, he's been so dominant this year. He is going to go on to set all kinds of records, I'm sure. And with Andrea Latrella not participating in today's race, it's championship weekend, essentially. I think all Jensen has to do is score 3 points, and the championship is his mathematically. So looks like we got a yellow flag, sector 2 through the S's. That's where Jensen is now. Don't see any cars. There's one. Looks like that is Yerma Rusic off to the side. So that's going to ruin this timed lap for Jensen, and he is going to dive into the pits. So we'll pick up Logan. He's going to dive into the pits as well. Rennie Vanderstapp has just come across the line fourth quickest with a 1:34.227. Good on him. That drops Sandro down to sixth. Woo-hoo-hoo! Sandro running wide at that corner. That was close. You see another lap car getting out of the way. Back on the power, trying to arc it back in, and these sweeping corners. That corner is so long, like you want to get the power down and get going so you get a good run down this back straightaway, but if you're on the power too early, the car pushes wide to get you closer and closer to that wall. And as we know here at these street courses, it's almost as if these walls have magnets for these cars. He's coming up on some more traffic. Looks like that's one of the McLarens. That might be Rennie Vanderstapp, who did post the time right before him. Can he get a little bit of a tow, maybe? He's a little too far back maybe to get too much benefit from it, but Rennie's going to get out of the way. Sandro runs wide through that corner. Man, that was close. And Sandro looking to have a lot of confidence in the car, but he banks it off the wall. He's still trying to stick with it, keep the throttle down. Through the penultimate corner now. And again, it looks like he's struggling a little bit with some understeer. Wants to get that power down. He's going to come across the line with a 1:35.1. It's a 10th second off of his previous time. Not able to improve. He's dropped to 7th in the running order. And Oleski has posted a time of a 1:33.449. Where did that come from the young gun? Newcomer to the league. He plays in GT3 with us and making his SRL debut up to 3rd in the Mercedes-AMG Petronas machine. Behind his teammate for the day, Jensen Randall. I'm going to pick up Max Mulder. He's on an invalidated lap time. Looks like he's behind one of the Red Bulls. We're going to pick up Nick Van Gelder, and we just saw Nick bounce off the wall again. Looks like he might have bounced off the wall one more time. And he's going to go 1:34.849. That's 7/10 of a second quicker than his previous time. Unfortunately, that's only good for 7th as it stands. We'll pick up Robin Herderstagen. Robin Herderstagen just came across the line, start a flying lap. He's yet to post the time. We've got less than 5 minutes left to play in the session. We've got Don Farron going back and forth with Max Mulder in the live chat. We've got Jordan VR46 saying, yo, what's up? And what's up back to you. Glad you can join us for the race. Currently watching the 18-minute short qualifying session. We'll follow that up with a 50% race. And Robin Herderstagen is yet to set a time. Actually, I take that back. He has some time. He's 13 quickest on the time charts. He's 7/10 up on his previous time, which would knock him down into 1:37s, but that's not going to really improve his position. He blows by another car on the back straightaway. And, I think I'm going to pop up some telemetry here. I'm going to pop up some telemetry towards the end of this qualifying session. I want to see what some of these trap speeds are at the end of the straightaway for some of these guys. So continue to ride on board with Robin. You hear him working that throttle. Off, on, off, on. Oh, we're getting note here. Nick Van Gelder, and this is news to me, and this is, unfortunately, I didn't participate last week. I was out. Meanwhile, Robin Herderstagen has set a time of 1:37.1, but Nick Van Gelder does have a qualifying ban, and because he has set a time, 7th quickest, he may be looking at a race ban or a possible disqualification for today's race. So breaking news here in the live chat from the league administrators. So, and I wonder, and Nick has struggled all season, and that would be the second time that Nick gets banned from a race. He's just having a very uncharacteristic season here in Season 6. He is a previous champion, Season 4 champion in that. You see Robin Herderstagen. I don't know, if he was full throttle, he's awfully slow down that back straightaway. I'm only up to 190 miles an hour. Looks like Dennis Carenchis is retired from the session. Not sure if that was by design or if he was crashed out. Trying to see if Robin is going to be setting another time. He's been on a tear like he wants to set another time. Thinks he can do better. He's not going to have enough time to go down pit road, change tires, and get back out. There's no way. Looks like that might be what he's going to try and do, though. We're going to pick up Logan Arrand coming around. Well, Logan is on an out lap. Slows down. He saw that car up ahead. He's trying to give himself a little bit of space. Logan is going to try and put a staple on today's qualifying session. We'll pick up Jensen Randall. Jensen is on a timed lap now. He's 0.3 up of his previous time. That would crack him into the 132s. Down this long straightaway, here's what we want to see was the trap speed, 208 miles per hour. And Jensen running dangerously low on fuel. Does he got enough fuel to get back to the start-finish line? You see the fuel light is popping on and off. Has he got enough fuel in the tank? And time is up. Hot laps will count. Jensen Randall coming through the penultimate corner. Fuel light is flashing. Has he got enough to get there? Last ditch effort, and he's going to come across the line. A 132.527. And Logan has got his work cut out for him, and he's got a car in front of him. Not sure if that's going to help Logan or not. See if he can get a little bit of a slipstream off of some of these cars. And down this long back straightaway, DRS slot open. Using the ERS, using the DRS, giving it everything he's got. And his trap speed's 207 as he comes over the back of Nick Van Gelder. And Nick really at this point, with everything working against Nick, Nick can either get out of the way or try and tow Logan along. Purple in Sector 2. Logan is 0.3 up on his previous time. He's got to find more time than that, though. Big twitch from the car. And 0 is gone 132.997. Oleski, where did that come from? And Logan splits the Mercedes with a 132.647. And an unbelievable run by Oleski to take up third. And Nick Van Gelder is going to park it, or he's out of gas. Either way, Nick Van Gelder, what can you say? He had a qualifying ban. He probably forgot that he had a qualifying ban. I do not think that this was done in any type of malice. That's just not Nick's character, but he probably forgot he had a qualifying ban going into today's race. And unfortunately, he posts a time, and that is just flat out against the rules, whether you meant to do it or not. What can you say? So the only thing, and I hope Nick hears me, the only thing I can recommend is at the drop of the green flag, try and fall to the back of the pack without causing any disruption, and maybe that will give you some saving grace. At least at that point, maybe you can put some points on the board and not be disqualified for today's race. I don't know. I can't speak that that's exactly what would happen, but I hate to see somebody with Nick's abilities and Nick's character get disqualified for such a thing. So, but he's parked it, and that's going to do it for qualifying. The time's going to run out. Time remaining is 5 seconds. Oh, we got Francis McGinn on the live chat, and Francis and Logan both saying he was trying to disqualify himself from qualifying so that he would start last, so that's good on Nick. So here is your starting order. Jensen Randall with his 11th pole position of the season, followed by Logan Arrand, Oleski in third, Dennis Carenchis is fourth, Rennie Vanderstapp is fifth, Sandro Dulius is sixth, Cameron Weston Edwards will start 7th. Max Mulder is 8th. Nick Van Gelder, 9th, unfortunately. Dion Stahl is 10th. Jim Sanitas is 11th. Felipe is 12th. Jo Marusic is 13th. Robin Herderstegen will be 14th. And Dennis Gutnick, who did not get to set a time, will be starting in the 15th position. So, and good on Francis, and Logan brings up a good suggestion. He should have drove backwards. That would have disqualified him from the qualifying session. So But good on Francis McGinn. Always good to have a former driver in the live chat, and Logan for picking that up. I was unaware that that's what Nick was trying to do, but good on Nick trying to disqualify himself from qualifying so that he would start last and try and give those positions back to the drivers. So there will be a lot of deliberation after this race as to what to do about that. I think for the time being, Nick just needs to keep his head down, run his race, and just try and stay out of trouble. So don't want to cause any more incident with any other drivers to have anything like that work against him. So that was a very interesting 18-minute short qualifying session for sure. Congratulations to Jensen Randall. 11th pole position of the season. We're only on round 18. He has been absolutely dominant.
Someone is at the front door.
Why do I have the Alexa down here is beyond me. Apparently someone is at my front door. So here is our running order. Jensen Randall with his 11th pole position of the season. He is followed by a new challenger, Logan Arrand, who will hopefully be giving it a full go next season to see if he can run for the championship as well. Oleski with a very impressive SRL debut and qualifying third quickest, followed by the always quick, always aggressive Dennis Carenchis. Rennie Vanderstapp will be starting in fifth. That's a great qualifying effort for him. Sandro Dulia is coming off of back-to-back podium finishes, 2 third-place finishes in a row. Finally starting to turn his season around, but can he keep that momentum going here at a track that he absolutely cannot stand? He'll be starting in the 6th position. And really, the championship fight for first is out of touch. But there's a huge battle going on for third between Sandro Dulia and this guy right here, Cameron Weston Edwards. Sandro's got 129 points to his credit. Cameron with 126. These two off-track friends, but on-track rivalries, starting one behind the other. Max Mulder coming off of some good momentum as well. Finished 4th at Abu Dhabi, finished 5th at Canada. See if he can move up the charts, put some points on the board again today. Nick Van Gelder, we've already talked a lot about, starting in the 9th spot. Not sure what's going to happen to him after this race. Dion Stahl will be starting in 10th, followed by Jim Sanitas. And Sanitas coming off of a DNF at Canada. He'll be looking to try and finish the race today. Felipe, who's had 4 DNFs in a row, would love to just finish a race. He's got his work cut out for him, starting this deep in the field and at a very, very tough track. Jurma Rusic, Nick Van Gelder's teammate, going to be starting in the 13th spot. And Robin Hertestegen couldn't post a time better than 1:37 during qualifying. The 2 Alfa Romeos will be in the back. Hertestegen followed by Chitty 17, that is Dennis Gutnecht. Something to that degree, something of that nature. Y'all just can't get a normal name. Even Logan, who's the American, has to have an oddly spelled and pronounced name. Arrand. Couldn't just be Logan Jones. So drivers will get set. We'll wait for the 5 red lights for this 28-lap venture. Five red lights. Lights are out. Time to run what you brung, and they're away in a puff of smoke, and it's Logan Arrand and Jensen Randall out in front, and timing and scoring, of course, is already messed up. But Logan gets moved to the inside, and he gets out in front of Jensen Randall. And Dennis Carenchis has moved up into third. He's gotten ahead of Oleski. And now Dennis Carenchis looks to be trying to make a move on Jensen Randall early on in the going here. Everybody's clean through turns 1 and 2. Nick Van Gelder, I believe. Oh, Lord. See, that was Max Mulder. Let's see what Nick is doing. Looks like Nick is trying to stay out of the way, not necessarily lose pace with the field. So Logan Arrand down the front straightaway. He's bringing some cars with him, and they all brake hard going into the corner. Looks like that was a crossover move. That's Max Mulder and Sandro Dulia. Max dove in deep. Sandro with the crossover move. He's bringing Rennie Vanderstapp with him. No, that's Cameron Weston Edwards in the other McLaren. Meanwhile, in the back, Nick Van Gelder has given up a couple other spots, dropped all the way back into 13th now. Whoa, and Nick loses the car. Whew, a great save by Nick Van Gelder. That's why we call him Ken Block. Meanwhile, back up at the... Oh, there's contact there. That was Nick. Oh, no. Nick Van Gelder makes contact with Robin Herderstagen. Meanwhile, back at the front, what has happened to Logan Arrand? Logan was leading and missed what happened. He's dropped 3 spots. Now, somehow Cameron Weston Edwards is up to 3rd. Is timing and scoring screwed up? Yes, timing and scoring is screwed up. I hate you, Codemasters. Jesus. Alright, so Logan is still your leader, followed by Jensen Randall, who's 0.8 of a second behind. Dennis Karenchis has worked his way up into 3rd, and he's followed by Oleski. Closing in on Oleski is Rennie Vanderstapp. That's 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Behind him, you've got Sandro Dulius with Cameron Weston Edwards and Dion Stahl. What a mess. And Nick Van Gelder and Robin Herderstagen, looks like Nick has lost the position to that. So now that we've kind of got our bearings on what is going on, we'll see if Codemaster's timing and scoring can fix itself. So it looks like Logan Arrand and... Oh, somebody's pitting. That's Max Mulder diving into the pits. He's probably got some wing damage. But Logan has now pulled out a 1-second gap over Jensen Randall. Now, this is lap 3, so DRS will be enabled. So Jensen looks like he ran that corner wide. He's trying to stay within that 1-second gap. And he's just on the cusp of it. Now down to 0.8 of a second. He's getting a good slipstream off of Logan's car. There you hear the DRS. Slots open down this back straightaway. Logan wasn't able to separate that gap, but Jensen's going to be too far back, but he catches up big time under braking. And it looks like we've got side by side here. This is Dennis Karenchis at Oleski. My apologies for the dead air. I had a slight situation I needed to take care of real quick, but we're back and it looks like we are under safety car. And I don't see any cars retired. So is the safety car merely because of debris on the track? I'm sure there was a lot of drivers that needed to get some front wings. Where is the actual safety car itself? Well, let's pick up Logan. So Logan is pitting. What is that? Can you do that? I don't know what's going on there. That's. So Jensen's getting a new front wing. They're stacking the Mercedes. Logan will get back out before Jensen, so that's good to know. And Logan is saying he was plus 1/10, so there's no way he didn't go under the Delta. By all means, submit the footage to the stewards after the race. I'm sure it'll be looked into. So Logan comes out. We do pick up the safety car. He'll be followed by Dennis Carenchis, who's followed by Jensen Randall. Rennie Vanderstapp is going to be 4th. Looks like Sandra will move into the queue in 5th. Now, Robin Herterstegen has played this game before. He's going to play the track position game. He's not going to pit from new tires or a wing or anything like that. His car is fairly clean right now, so that moves him up into 6th. Oleski, who had a great qualifying effort, was running in the top 5 and is now going to fall back to 7th. Dion Stahl is going to be 8th. Cameron Weston-Edwards is pitted, come back out. He's 9th. Max Mulder's dropped to 10th. Yor Marusic is 11th. Jim Sanitas is going to be 12th. Nick Van Gelder unofficially 13th. Felipe is 14th, and Dennis Gutnick is going to be 15th. So after 5 laps of pretty tense racing, and again, I do apologize for the dead air. I had a situation I had to take care of. Again, I don't know exactly what the safety car came out for. All cars still on track. Nobody crashed. I have to assume it's for just too much debris. I know a lot of guys, we talked about it in qualifying, a lot of guys were going to need front wings, so we're going to see an unprecedented record of front wing changes today here in SRL. So, looks like Logan is going to benefit from the fact that Dennis got out before Jensen. Jensen needed to make a wing change. There's some question as to the pass on pit road, if that was legal, and if Jensen made up any time under the pit stop delta, or under the safety car delta, I should say. But I think this is going to benefit Logan, because I don't think Dennis has got the raw speed to keep up with Logan, but Dennis is aggressive enough that he doesn't want to get past, so he is probably going to hold up Jensen a little bit, and they're going to fight for position. And we've seen how scrappy and aggressive Dennis can be. He has definitely taken some pages out of the Cameron Weston-Edwards notebook and makes his car as wide as possible. While trying to protect his space. So, still circulating under the safety car. Would like to think that this would be coming in this time around. I really wish they would take off those hard graphics on the side of the car. Looks awful. Perfectly good way to ruin a car. Cheeseball graphics. You want to race as one, that's fine, but really, do we got to ruin the whole color scheme of the car with it? Or like make the car like a different color to like coincide with that instead of using the beautiful Silver Arrows color and then slapping a rainbow on the side. Why wouldn't you like, I don't know, make the car yellow and then like have like the rainbow? Like at least it would kind of coincide better. It just looks so out of place. Either way, still under the safety car. And we haven't gotten a note that the safety car, hopefully it'll come in this lap. I mean, we're going around, we're going to do this one more time. I mean, all the cars have caught up to the queue with the exception of one. Who's back there by himself? Is that Felipe? Come on, Felipe. I don't want to be rude, but what's it say when you can't even catch up to the safety car? Come on, man. So hopefully now that everybody's caught up to the safety car queue, the safety car will hopefully come in this lap. And I love the fact that Logan is taking a very Kimi Räikkönen approach to keeping his tires warm. He's not doing a whole lot of swerving. I mean, he's going to do it a little bit here down the straightaway, but for the most part, he's been driving pretty straight. Of course, as soon as I open my mouth, there he goes. Still going straight. I mean, there's a part of me that I understand you need to put heat in the tires. There's also a part of me that thinks that you can preserve the tire a little bit longer by not putting so much stress on it. Now, I'm sure Logan is a smart enough driver and person to know he's probably monitoring his tire temps as they were. And we finally get the note from race control that the safety car will be in this lap. So that'll make Logan Arrand the control car. And the drivers need to remember there is no passing before the start-finish line. Logan plucking along here in second gear. He's doing it old NASCAR style, keeping it around 55, 60 miles an hour. I like this approach. He's not doing anything tricky. He's not doing anything kill. He's going to get up and go. And now he's off to the races. Gets a good jump on Dennis Carenchis and back across the line. Green, green, green. And he's already been able to pull out a second gap over Dennis Carenchis. And of course, Dennis will be under threat from Jensen Randall. Oh, and it looks like we've got some stuff going on here in the back. We've got Oleski getting by. Looks like he got around Robin Herterstegen heading into turn one. And we've got Jurma Rusic and Max Mulder battling it out side by side. That's for the 10th position. Looks like Jur's going to come out on top for that one. Meanwhile, Logan is out to a 1.5 second lead over Dennis Carenchis. Carenchis is going to be under threat from Jensen Randall now. Now, DRS isn't going to be open as of yet, I don't believe. Or does it go back to being open? I can't remember. I'll find out as they come down this back straightaway. A bit of a twitch there. I don't know if Jensen was just trying to put a little bit more heat into the tires or... Oh, it looks like Jurma Rusic has had an issue. He's fallen back into the field. Oh, and he's been into the wall. You see the right front end plate is completely gone. And he's going to have to pit for a new wing on that one. So once again, I haven't been keeping tabs, but that's a lot of wings so far between qualifying and the race. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall all over the back of Dennis Carenchis. And Dennis, I don't think is going to make life very easy for him. To the inside goes Jensen. Dennis gets a good run out of the corner. He's going to be able to protect that space through the final corner, out onto the front straightaway. Jensen's going to have the slipstream. Dennis trying to get to the inside. Whoa, look at this. Jensen's going to outbrake himself. Where's Dennis? He's going to go right back around the outside. And this is exactly what Logan Arrand needed. He has now pulled out to a 3.5 second gap over this battle for second. He got a great jump on the restart. Dennis protecting that inside line. Jensen's going to try and push him wide. Got to be careful doing that with Dennis because Dennis will push back. And as these guys are battling it out now, Rennie Vanderstapp's starting to come to the picture. Dennis trying to stay in that slipstream of Jensen Randall. DRS not open yet, but he does have the slipstream. He is closing in a little bit. He thought about getting to the inside, trying to keep it tight and get that power down. A little bit of a twitch out of Jensen's car. If Dennis can hang tough, he'll have the DRS advantage next time around, I believe. He's losing touch, though. He's on the 9/10 second. He's right on the cusp. And he's just outside of a second now. That's not good news for Dennis. Such an ignorant corner, that turn two. And Jensen has now been able to gap Dennis 1.5 seconds. So 4 seconds the gap to the leader. And we'll see what Jensen Randall can do. And so far, coincidentally, lap 10, and I know we ran a number of laps under the safety car, but there hasn't been any timing penalties for anybody so far. So a lot of clean driving. Looks like Jim Sanitas is making a move on Max Mulder. That's for the 9th spot. This is 9th, 10th, and 11th. Meanwhile, Oleski is looking... Oh, we've got side-by-side drag race now. Hang on now. Down the straightaway, DRS slots open. Mulder to the inside of Sanitas. Oh, and Sanitas blows the corner, outbrakes himself. Almost noses it into the freaking wall. And Sanitas is going to lose 2 spots in that. So now it's Nick Van Gelder and Max Mulder 9th and 10th. Meanwhile, Oleski is called up to Rennie Vanderstapp and a 3-second time penalty for Jim Sanitas. That's insult to injury as he blew that corner. Now, he can have that appealed by the stewards after the race because technically, even though he cut the corner, he blew the corner. And he did not gain a time advantage. And Sanitas is going to dive into the pits. Meanwhile, Oleski has caught Rennie Vanderstapp. This is the battle for 4th. Meanwhile, looks like we've got a couple other drivers diving into the pits. Felipe and Robin Hertestagen. I bet you they're all getting front wings. No, couldn't see, but Max Mulder, Nick Van Gelder still going back and forth here. Battle for 9th. Meanwhile, Oleski and Vanderstapp side by side. Oleski's got the DRS slot open. Rennie's trying to side draft him. And Rennie's not going to be able to do anything about that. Trying to keep that corner tight. But Oleski with a good drive off coming out of that corner. So Oleski, really impressive drive so far this weekend by Oleski. Now, this here is essentially your closest battle on track. Meanwhile, we've got Cameron Weston Edwards and Sandro Dulius. This is a battle that's starting to materialize 6th and 7th. And as we talked earlier, Sandro Dulius, 129 points. He's in 3rd place in the championship point standings. Cameron Weston Edwards, 126. It's a battle for pride here. Jensen Randall's going to lock out the championship today easily. He's got 372 points to his credit. Andrea Latrella is not here to garner any more points. So mathematically, Andrea Latrella will be out of it. Andrea has 245 points. He'll mathematically be unable to take the top spot. Jensen Randall could DNF for the rest of the season and it wouldn't matter. But Sandro Dulius, the battle for third in points, we've got Cameron Weston Edwards. Well, we got Sandro with 129, Cameron Weston Edwards with 126. Luke Smith, who is a reserve driver, has participated in a lot of races this year, actually has a couple of podiums and a win to his credit. Luke Smith actually has 120 points, so even though he's a reserve, he's still in that battle for third place in the points. Dennis Carenchis is at 109, Rennie Vanderstappen is at 104. They're all still within it. Liam Hill, who unfortunately we haven't seen in a while. Oh, there's contact between Rennie Vanderstappen. I'm sorry, not Rennie, Cameron and Sandro. And I don't think that was on purpose. I think Cameron was just trying to side draft a little bit. And they're still side by side down this section here. And Cam trying to find a way around Sandro. Sandro doing a good job putting his car in a very good spot. Whew. And as the dust settles on that for just a second, we'll go back to Liam Hill. Now, Liam Hill hasn't raced in a number of races. He's still got 81 points to his credit. He did win Monaco this year, which was a huge deal. Coincidentally, real Formula One's at Monaco today. Charles Leclerc with the pole position. Not sure if that will... he also crashed on the last minute of the race, so I don't know if that'll affect that or not. But regardless, Liam Hill did win Monaco earlier this year, so he's got 81 points to his credit. So he's, Dennis and Rennie have got their own battle going. Liam Hill's kind of in his own world. And then you've got this battle for the bottom half of the points for the top 10. As we see Cameron Weston Edwards has this DRS slot open. Gains the ground. He's all over the gearbox. But Sanders got good drive off. And for somebody who absolutely does not like this track, who has absolutely not practiced on this track, Sanders running a pretty solid race right now. And you see Dion Stahl back there starting to close in. And Destructor, Jim Sanitas, has DNF'd. And we've got a virtual safety car. And we are going to watch this gap here. Jensen Randall. And we're back to green flag racing that quick. DRS is enabled. Cameron Weston Edwards all over the back of Sandro. So Jim Sanitas becomes the first DNF of the day. We're halfway through this race. Meanwhile, we've got a battle going on here for the third spot. This is Oleski and Dennis Carenchis. A little bit of a twitch out of Carenchis' car as they try and get the power down to come. We're going to get a good run out of there down this straightaway. Let's check out the trap speed. DRS slot open. Dennis trying to move around, break up that slipstream. 204 was his top speed down that back straightaway. And Cameron Weston Edwards and Sandro Dulius Cameron finally gets around him with that DRS down into the hairpin. Sandro doesn't want to give it up, going to try and get that power back down. Now these two haven't been able to separate from each other. So there's a good possibility Sandro's going to be able to come back around and have the DRS advantage. His lap behind Cameron. So Sandro going to be behind him now. And still the battle continues on for third. Oleski and Dennis Karenchis trying to keep up with all these battles on track. And I was surprised there's been a couple of battles that just won't seem to settle themselves. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall is in hot pursuit of Logan Arrand. He's got the gap down to 2.8 seconds. It was 3.8 at the time of this virtual safety car. So not sure if Jensen's just got more raw pace than Logan, if Logan's trying to conserve his tires a little bit. Be interesting to see if anybody tries to make this a two-stop race. Make a late pit stop for some soft tires. And again, Oleski is going to be in a prime position to make that pass on Dennis Karenchis. And I think this is really the closest that he's been. Meanwhile, while these guys have been battling it out, Rennie Vanderstapp has slowly been closing that gap into them. He's just outside of 2 seconds from them. And Oleski tries to make he takes a little peek, but he cuts back in line. Now they both take varying lines through turns 1 and 2, trying to arc that corner. And Oleski has just got some good drive off coming out of some of these sweeping corners here. DRS slot open again. And Oleski I think Oleski's playing a pretty smart race here. He's saving the DRS. Man, Oleski just really impressed me. He had that DRS slot open. He could have made that move a couple of corners ago, shut the DRS prematurely, and was saving his run for here. And you see he's got the DRS slot closed. Makes a little bit of contact with Dennis. Again, Dennis will push back. You don't want to push on him too hard. Side by side. And I don't know what Oleski's doing. I feel like Oleski's got the speed and the pace to get past Dennis Karenchis. I don't know. Now, when he shut the DRS slot early, in the second DRS zone, I thought that was just to give him the run going down that long back straightaway, but it looks like he wasn't able to close in like I thought. Sandro Dulius is pitting. And what's up with Sandro? He needs a front wing change. Not sure if he may have had contact with the wall or Cameron Weston Edwards. Front wing change. And his car is still sitting there. There we go. Now it's going. Back to the battle for third. This is Oleski and Dennis Karenchis. And this time Oleski is going to make that move. And for what it's worth now, you look at the back, Rennie Vanderstapp is now within a second of this battle as well. Dennis has got the slot back open. He's going to try and make the move on Oleski. Oleski's going to try and take the inside. And once again, look at Rennie Vanderstapp closing up under braking now. And Rennie Vanderstapp is a part of this battle here for third. So now we've got a three-car battle for the third spot. Dennis Karenchis trying to hang tough. Oleski giving it everything he's got. Rennie apparently has been driving like a madman, made up a 3-second gap to this battle to be a part of this now. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall now has the gap down to Logan, down to 1.8 seconds with 10 laps to go. And again, a testament to how good these drivers are. Nobody has yet gotten a timing penalty. I'm sure that will change in the next 10 laps, but this has been the longest race that we've gone without anybody getting a 3-second timing penalty on what is a very, very hard course. Now, granted, there's not a lot of runoff here as Oleski tries to dive to the inside. And he's going to try and make it work. And right here, those corners there, that is where a lot of guys would be getting a timing penalty. To the inside, oh, and he almost clips him. Here comes Rennie. Oh, and Felipe's around. Felipe's around, unbelievable. I think they caught all of them off guard, but Dennis is too far back now to try and make up that gap. Here comes Rennie Vanderstapp down the back straightaway. The DRS slot's going to be over for both of them. Here comes Rennie. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Dives to the inside. Dennis trying to take the defensive line. And Rennie to the outside. And now they're side by side, trying to get the power down. It's a three-car battle for the third spot. And they make more contact. Dennis around the outside, and he clips Oleski's left front. Rennie Vanderstapp now a part of the battle. And Logan is pitting. Logan has just pitted to switch over to a different set of tires. He's given up the lead to Jensen Randall. And here comes Oleski as he dives into the pits. Dennis Karenchis now has to deal with Rennie Vanderstapp. Amazing driving by these guys. Logan has pitted, and here comes Dennis and Rennie, and this is not good news for Logan. And a 5-second time penalty for Max Mulder for exceeding the track limits. And Logan was able to get out in front of these two. A perfect pit stop from the Team Haas. Logan is back out on the track, 16 seconds behind. And he is on the soft tires. And what is Jensen Randall going to do? Jensen Randall's going to be losing huge chunks of time. Will Jensen try and stay out? That doesn't seem like Jensen's style. I don't think Jensen's going to stay out, but he might be caught in a Max Verstappen situation where you're definitely going to lose the lead coming into the pits. Do you gamble and just stay out, or do you have more raw speed than Logan? And Jensen is going to pit. So here we go. Logan Arrand coming through the sweeping sector 3. What's the gap going to be to Jensen when Jensen comes out? You see there's pit road entry. Jensen is away down the long front straightaway. Here comes Logan. This is going to be really close. This is going to be really close. Logan back out in front. Jensen still trying to come down this long straightaway. Not as close as I thought it was going to be. Nick Van Gelder's got a 5-second time penalty for exceeding the track limits. Jensen Randall comes out 3.3 seconds behind. Logan Arrand for the lead of this race. 8 laps to go. And we see a lot of guys are diving into the pits. We see Cameron Weston Edwards has swapped over to another set of medium tires. Dennis Karenchis comes back out. And we're going to wait for this pit stop cycle to finish up before we see what the running order is. 3.1 seconds to Logan right now. And race control, Dion Stahl with a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. And I feel like no F1 race is complete without a Dion Stahl time penalty. Dion running on 15 lap-old medium tires. I seriously doubt he's going to take them all the way to the end. All right, so now that the pit stops have cycled through, we've got Logan Arrand as your leader out in front by 2.9 seconds over Jensen Randall. Oleski, who has run an amazing race for third. And we've got Dennis Karenchis is in fourth. He's followed by Cameron Weston Edwards. We do have Dion Stahl and Rennie Vanderstapp here within striking distance of each other, but it looks like with that 5-second time penalty, that's going to be all for naught for Dion. He's down in 7th spot. Sandro, through all that, had to get a new front wing. He's in 8th, and he is closing up to Dion. I'm sure Dion will let him by. Dion dives into the pits. Get out of the way of Sandro. We got Nick Van Gelder up into 9th, Max Mulder in 10th. Those guys haven't been able to get away from each other. Jurgen Marusic is all by his lonesome in the 11th spot. Robin Herterstegen is down to 12th. Dennis Gutnick is in the 13th spot, and Felipe, who we saw backwards the last time we saw him, was backwards heading onto the back straightaway, is now down into 14th, and he just slammed the wall, broke the right rear suspension. I haven't seen that in an F1 game in a while, and that car is donezo. Wow. And a safety car comes out, and this is not what Logan Arrand wanted to see. He is probably banging the steering wheel right now. That is really unfortunate for not only for Felipe, but for Logan, who had a 2.9 second gap over Jensen Randall, and it is evaporated. It is going to be a shootout. So I'm thinking by the time the safety car comes out, everybody gets caught up to the queue. And Jensen Randall's going to pit again for a fresh set of softs. Jensen said, you know what? I need some new shoes already. And that's actually, that's a really good call by Jensen. Now Oleski is the teammate for the day. And Oleski is going to come out. And Oleski doesn't pit. Oleski's going to drop Jensen down into 3rd. And look, I don't know a whole lot about Jensen Randall and Oleski. I don't know if these two know each other. I don't even know if they're in a party chat with each other. I have no idea if there's any team orders. That might be the only saving grace for Logan right now, is if Oleski and Jensen, even though they're teammates for the day, would not be teammates in reality. So that's the only saving grace Logan's got right now. But I'm thinking by the time the safety car comes out, everybody gets caught up to the queue and it circulates. We're probably going to be looking roughly lap 25. It'll probably be a 3-4 lap shootout before all this is settled. So this has gotten really interesting. And yeah, I got to give it to some of these drivers. I've raced on this track. I'm not very good at this game to begin with, but even for a driver that is good, say like Jensen Randall or Logan Arrand, I can't imagine that this track is easy to drive on in any capacity, no matter how good you are. And I think it's a true testament to how clean this league is when we've got a track like this, only 2 DNFs, both of which were single car incidences, and only a handful of these guys have any type of timing penalties. So, and we've seen some really, really good racing out of these guys today. I would love to know what's going through Logan's head right now. It's got to be a mess up there. It's a catch-22. Do you want the safety car to stay out as long as possible to give the least amount of laps and opportunity to the drivers behind you to make a pass? Or do you want the safety car to go in, hope you can build a gap, and if you do get past, there's enough time for you to try and get it back? For me, I would like the safety car to stay out as long as possible and give them as little opportunity as possible. So I called lap 25 when the safety car will be going in. We'll see how good my guesstimate is. We're currently on lap 23. So as it stands, and I don't know, is anybody going to make a late pit stop? If you were deep in the field, like, say, Dennis Gutnick, it looks like Robin Herterstegen's made a pit stop. It could really benefit those guys, but as it stands, Logan is your leader, followed by Jensen Randall. Oleski making his SRL F1 debuts in 3rd. Dennis Carenci's been running up front all day in the top 4. Rennie Vanderstapp, he's been involved in some great battles for that 3rd spot. He's running in 5th. Sandro Dulius is up to 6th. He does manage to get back ahead of Cameron Weston-Edwards, so he's going to be able to put a few more points on Cameron for 3rd. Nick Van Gelder up to 8th. He hasn't been able to get away from Max Mulder all day. These guys have been running back and forth with each other since the start of this race. Dion Stahl's currently in 10th, and now he does have a 5-second time penalty to his credit. Jurgen Marusic is running in 11th. Robin Herterstegen is 12th, and Dennis Gutnick will be 13th. So we'll get rid of this tire stuff. How come it doesn't show me the time penalties? And Logan Arrand has the fastest lap of the day to boot. Interesting. So we have got, looks like Robin Herdestag in. He is way behind the safety car queue, as is Dennis Gutnick. In fact, Dennis is almost a full lap behind. So definitely been an interesting race. Whew. Just running down some of the notes here and just looking at some of this stuff. Jensen Randall has won the last 7 races in a row. I can't be 100% sure, and I'm sure Sandro can clarify this for me after the race. I don't know what the record is for most consecutive race wins. I want to say it's 6 off the top of my head, which would have been broken by Jensen, and I don't think I've discussed that this year, but I would love to see Jensen's stats and how they actually stack up against the SRL record book as far as wins, most consecutive wins, and stuff of that nature, because Jensen Randall has been an absolutely dominant force this year. I mean, Tim Ventic had an absolutely dominant year last year. And I want to say off the top of my head, Tim Ventic might actually hold the most consecutive race wins. It might actually be 8. I can't remember. So safety cars in this lap. So as I said, it should have been around lap 25. That's exactly what it's going to be. And Logan is going to have to play the... he's going to have to try and play a game with Jensen Randall now to try and make this happen. Holding steady at about 75, 80 miles an hour. And he's off to the races, back to green flag racing. He did not get a good breakaway from Jensen Randall. Jensen's going to dive to the inside here, turn 1. Logan is not going to want to give that up. Jensen trying to do the crossover move. And it's a drag race down the straightaway. Logan's going to try and hang on to that inside line. Jensen's going to try and go around the outside. Pushes him wide, and Jensen Randall back to the front. He hasn't been there much today, if at all. Now can Logan stick with Jensen until the DRS becomes enabled? And he may only have one shot at the DRS. Under heavy braking, there you see Logan finds himself the meat in the middle of a Mercedes sandwich. See Logan running that blue helmet, got the American flag on it. Looks epic, if you will. Oh, and Logan picks up a 3-second time penalty. Oh, that's so disappointing. And Logan is going to be beating himself up after this race. Now it's all about race preservation. Just save what you can. You're not going to get the win. Try and see if you can gap second. Oh, but that is disappointing. He blew that corner. He tried cutting it as tight as possible. And I think he knows deep inside he's beating himself up, I'm sure. So it's not over, but it kind of is over. It's hard to say. Jensen Randall starting to pull the gap now. And with 3-second time penalty, Oleski would gain a position. Dennis Krenches would gain a position. Rennie Vanderstapp would be very close to gaining a position over Epic the Animal if they finished as they are now. Nick Van Gelder battling it out with Cameron Weston Edwards. There's a couple of old rivalries that we haven't seen on track for a while together. Nick and Cameron. It looks like Cameron's gotten ahead of Sandro Dulia, so they keep flip-flopping positions and point standings. Now again, there's some discussion about what will happen to Nick after this race. He ignored his qualifying ban, so does he get disqualified from this race? Does he get a race ban for next race? Crossover move by Cameron Weston Edwards. Great driving by Cameron. He saw that happening, let Nick blow the corner, and takes the position back. Great drive by Cameron. And meanwhile, we've got Jur Marusic now is all over the back of Sandro Dulia. So Sandro, who was driving a pretty heads-up race for most of this, is now in threat of falling back to the last points-paying position from Jur Marusic. And Jensen Randall just set the fastest lap with a 1:35.5. And it's now a 2-second gap to Logan Arrand. And Van Gelder to the inside, which is really going to be the outside. He's going to try and do the crossover move. He's not going to do that on Cameron. All right, now Nick's going to easily be able to make this pass down the straightaway. There's the DRS slot halfway through the back straightaway. Great defensive driving from Cameron. Nick gives him a little bit of the bump and run. Can't get around him. Cameron's actually holding up two drivers at this point, Nick Van Gelder and Dion Stahl. This is a three-car battle for the 6th spot. Cameron doing what Cameron does best. Meanwhile, Dennis Krenches is threatening the 3rd spot of Oleski. And you see Nick, I love watching. Oh, here comes Dion! Dion tries to dive bomb him, get a 2-for-1 deal. And it's so funny watching these guys. These guys are racing really hard for 6th. I love this out of Cameron right now. Here comes Dion, going to dive to the inside. And he's going to get him this time. Big lockup by Dion. Makes the move. Nick's going to come back across the curve. And they're side by side heading through this corner. Dion's going to try and hang tough, and he makes it work. Oh, but he blows the corner. He blew the corner, and now here comes Nick, and Sandro's going to be a part of this now. Side-by-side drag race, and here comes the 2 Ferraris. Sandro doesn't know where to go. Sandro has no idea what to do. Dion's going to cut the corner a little bit to try and separate himself. Sandro makes contact with Nick. Nick's all over the back of Dion. Oh, in the back end of Jur Marusic's Red Bull goes around, and he's caught Max Mulder in the crash. Unbelievable! And Oleski and Dennis Krenches is battling it out for 3rd. Krenches to the inside. Pushes him wide. Oleski's going to try and fight back. Final lap of this race is turning into mass chaos. Meanwhile, Nick Van Gelder making a move on Dion Stahl. Van Gelder's into the wall. Van Gelder's into the wall. Max Mulder's going to get that spot back from Nick Van Gelder. And Dennis Krenches hanging tough with Oleski. Oleski making his SRL F1 debut. Trying to get a podium finish on his opening race. Jensen Randall has crossed the line for an unprecedented 11th win of the season. Dennis Krenches gets 3rd. Epic was able to gap them far enough. Cameron Weston Edwards is going to get 6th, but Sandro, followed by his teammate Dion, 7th and 8th. Nick Van Gelder, and a massive crash on the front straightaway. Jor Marusic and Nick Van Gelder coming across 9th and 10th. And Max Mulder got called out in that wreck with Jor Marusic, and he gets credited with a DNF. Unbelievable race. Wow, what an amazing final lap. Jensen Randall, unprecedented 11th win of the season. And there's what's left of Jensen's car. Logan Arrand got that 3-second time penalty, was able to gap the rest of the field and not lose the spot. He comes home second. That was hard fought, well-deserved. Dennis Karenchis, a great run to P3, holding off Oleski, who has just made a name for himself in the SRL League. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's followed by Rennie Vanderstappen. That's one of Rennie's best runs of the season. Cameron Weston Edwards doing what Cameron does best. That was amazing defensive driving at the end of this race. Way to capitalize on it. He's going to come home 6th. Right behind him is going to be Sandro Dulius. These two cannot separate themselves on the track in the point standings. Unbelievable finish to this race. SRL's first time at Hanoi, and it did not disappoint. The driver of the day is somehow going to be Jor Marusic. I don't think I can agree with that at all. My driver of the day is going to have to go to probably Dennis Karenchis. That was amazing drive for him to capitalize. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give it to Oleski because it's a debut race. Oleski drove a great race. He would get my vote for driver of the day. Him and Dennis both put up great runs. Jensen doing what Jensen does. I really wish he drove a different car. I'm kind of sick of seeing Mercedes top the spot in real life and in this. But it is good to see Haas with Logan, second spot. So here are your unofficial results for today's race. Jensen Randall with an 11th win. Logan Arrand, second place. Dennis Karenchis, third. Oleski is fourth. Rennie Vanderstappen is fifth. Cameron Weston Edwards is sixth. Sandro Dulius is seventh. Dion Stahl is eighth. Nick Van Gelder is ninth. And Jor Marusic is 10th. Robin Herderstagen was 11th. Dennis Gutnick is 12th. And Max Mulder, Felipe, and Jim Sanitas all with DNFs. Looks like Mulder they're going to classify as one lap down. He did technically crash on the last lap. And Sandro saying, thank God it's over. Sandro hates this track, but he drove a pretty good race. Even though it was 7th, it was a hard-fought 7th spot. Good race by him. Good race by Nick Van Gelder. I'm sorry, Cameron Weston Edwards. Van Gelder. Still some discussion as to what's to become of him. So, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram. The link is in the description below. So you can get all your news and notes and get updated with the post-race penalties for sure. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks for the F1 race. I don't even know what track we're going to be at, but it'll be round 19 as this season winds down. That'll be in 2 weeks' time. Next week, I think we're going to be doing the GT3 season. I believe they'll be at Fuji for that race there on Project Cars 2. Should be sure to check that out as well. And unbelievable race. I'm KAMIKAZE-FOX. This has been SRL, and we will see you guys at the next round.